High drama. We don't have a clue whether did we like the shows or not. Do we feel like killing anyone with a wrench or a candlestick? Well, if you're interested, you can go to Paper Mill Playhouse to go see Sandy Rustin's Clue, based on the screenplay by Jonathan Lynn, which brings the beloved board game to life. Sorry, that is 2 different board games. Sorry in life, in case you didn't get the pun. It is 1954, the height of McCarthyism and the Red Scare. Mr. Body has assembled a collection of scandalous individuals to taunt and play with them in a deadly game. Who will come out alive? Which weapon will be used? The candlestick, the lead pipe, the rope, the dagger, the gun, or the wrench? Which room will contain the body or bodies? The study, the kitchen, the billiard room, the conservatory, the lounge, the hallway, the library, or the dining room? Will you be able to guess who the murderer is? The suspects are Colonel Mustard, who swaggers about absolutely clueless in his misunderstanding of anything that is said to him. John Tracy Egan has been keeping me amused since Howard Crabtree days. His deadpan delivery of the most ridiculous statements is hysterical. Mrs. White is a very cool and collected customer indeed, who has racked up a considerable amount of dead husbands. Donna English commands the Paper Mill stage as if she owned it, or at least trod the boards there many a time, which she has. Mrs. Peacock hides behind a bottle and her credentialed husband, who we are not supposed to know about. Kathy Fitzgerald, in her ditzy inebriation, is a sight to behold. The sultry Miss Scarlet oozes sensuality. Sarah Hollis is unapologetically sexy and is the most honest in her assessment of her situation. The pompous Professor Plum is filled with psychological theories. Michael Kostroff, who I've known for decades from his days in an improv group, Shock of the Funny, carries off the pontificating professor with aplomb. Mr. Green is terribly accident prone and bumbling. Alex Mandel is a master of pratfalls and drink spillage. Now we've got the servants. Wadsworth, the butler, is calling the shots for his master, the elusive Mr. Body. Mark Price, who I just saw as Watson or Sherlock Carroll, is in his element here as he orchestrates all the various guests. Yvette is a sexy French maid who may have a connection with one of the guests. Isabel McCullough is adorable as she flounces about the stage. Cook also seems to know one of the guests. Hazel Ann Raimundo may not have much to say, but her expressions speak loud volumes. And the inevitable cop and standard motorist, played by Colby Kindle, has to play the straight man amongst the lunacy. And of course, there's another character that we will not talk about, played by Graham Stevens. This was a delightfully silly romp with the most convoluted plot. The cast had the most impeccable comic timing. Jen Caprio's costumes were eye-popping and elegant. Matt Krause created a sinister mansion with rooms and revealing doors. Ryan J. O'Gara's lighting made good use of lightning and Matt Krause's thunder. I promise that you won't be bored at Clue. Happy face. Mark and I were at the Yodel Motel, and we are so excited to be able to talk to Erez about the Frigid Festival that's coming up. That's the closest thing we have to the Fringe Festival these days. How many plays do you have going on in the space of time you have? It's like remarkable.
So normally this is a 30-show festival. We do 30 shows in 3 weeks in two theaters. This year we originally scheduled 27 so that we have a little bit more time between shows, so we have time to freshen the air in the room and disinfect and all that. But we've already lost 4 shows that aren't going to come, a couple of internationals and a couple of locals. So I think we're down to 23 shows this year, which still, I mean, considering recent events, is going to be a humongous festival. Very excited and nervous about the whole thing.
I noticed some returning people, like Blockbuster Guy. I
Yeah.
saw that a while ago. And
Yeah.
I've got to look it up, but I think I saw Toto too.
So, and Toto was not in our festival, but it may have had a previous run. Blockbuster, we actually have two shows in the festival this year for the first time ever that have already been in the festival before. Uh, Blockbuster guy, and he's only doing a couple of performances this year. And Tomatoes Tried to Kill Me, which is one of our internationals coming from Vancouver, Alberta, Canada.
I love the title. Tomatoes Tried to Kill Me and the Ukulele Saved Me.
And
What
it's a
the
beautiful
heck is
show.
that about? I mean, the title is brilliant.
It's a beautiful show. The Keith, the performer, he went through cancer, which apparently was aggravated by stomach acid and tomato sauce that he loved.
Oh.
So that's where that is. And his self-care was playing the banjo. Now he's on the other side, feeling good, looking good, and going around telling a very uplifting story about life, growing up, making it big, hitting some hard times, and getting through the whole thing.
I have to say, I mean, getting back to the banjo thing, I hope he's using the song from Half a Sixpence. If I had all that money could buy, I'd buy me a banjo. Ring a ding a ding ding, buy me a banjo. That's what I would do, because that's what made me think about that.
He's got like 4 different banjos that he plays during the show. It's a fun show. It really is a fun show.
What are some of the other shows that you have? Because I have some of them in front of me and some of the titles. What about Bathroom of a Bar on Bleecker Street?
Bathroom of a Bar on Bleecker Street. That is Mike. It should be a very good show. The guy who wrote it is generally a stand-up comic, and he's had shows in the festival before. He's produced with us outside the festival in our regular season. Wonderful guy to work with, and this is actually a play.
What's his name?
Mike Lemmy. Yeah, he is a wonderful stand-up, and he's done some very interesting things. He went to Europe for a while and just rented out boardrooms. He did it here too, and rented out rooms and invited people to do. And he did stand-up comedy, not in clubs. As a result, his interaction with the room is amazing. He really learned how to work a room that isn't a general stand-up audience, and I'm really looking forward to see what he did with the play. It should be very interesting. This is one of the ones I'm most looking forward to.
And what about My Grandmother's Eye Patch, presented by Clowns Can Dance?
I don't know much about this one, but they're friends of friends, and I'm looking forward to that one. It should be a lot of fun. I've heard very good things about this company from one of our tech people. I'm looking forward to Pueblo Revolt. That one, it's a company that did a show in our festival last year, and last year the show they did, which I'm blanking on the name now, I went to see it 3 times. It was an all audio show.
There's another play here called Portly Lutheran Know-It-All, performed by Matt Stores.
Yeah, Matt's done a couple of shows with us before. Storytelling, it again should be a good show. We have generally we have a lot of storytelling in the festival because it's a very easy festival format. It's true for all the fringe festivals around the country.
How did you come up with the name of Frigid Festival?
So Frigid Festival is a fringe festival. It's a Canadian fringe festival, Canadian Association of Fringe Festival member, which means anything in Canada that calls itself a fringe festival has a few rules that it needs to live by. Shows can't be curated. They have to be either drawn in a lottery or first come, first serve. The artists keep 100% of the box office. Ticket prices have to be accessible. And recently we've added that the festivals need to highlight diversity in whatever way they can, need to push diversity in both staffing and the shows, which is a little hard to do when we can't pick the shows, but that's the goal. So
how do you find these shows?
we let people know that we're doing a festival and they apply, and the first 15, we always open our lottery on Labor Day. And the first 15 shows in the festivals are just the first 15 that apply. It's first come, first serve. The second half of the festival, we draw from a hat on Halloween. We have a big party, draw names from a hat, and that makes up our festival. It scares people a little bit, this method, and it definitely scares funders. There was a lot of funding that we just didn't get because the funders were like, you don't pick the shows, they can't be good, we won't fund you. But this isn't true. I would stack up our good to bad ratio against any curated festival or against any network season for that matter. I mean, it's impossible to tell what a show is going to be from an application. And we just skip that part. We let the artists do it. And, you know, we always have a couple of bad shows, but we always have a good number of shows.
Very, very nice to have you. And we do need to move on. Eva, do you have any more questions or things you want to cover?
Oh, well, I just want to ask you if he wants to talk about other things that he does besides, you know, the Frigid Festival, because he's got 2 theaters. He runs Under St. Mark's, Crane. I think the Fire This Time Festival, is that yours?
We run 7 different festivals throughout the course of the year. There's a storytelling festival, there's Queerly, there's the Fire This Time. Estrogenius comes right after Frigid. We have a Shakespeare festival where we traditionally do 1 Shakespeare play 6 different ways. There's 6 different productions of the same play. Last year we didn't do that. We just did all 1-person Shakespeare's for COVID. It was a lot easier to deal with just 1 performer. So we just did a 1-person Shakespeare. I think this summer we might do small Shakespeare. We'll do like 2 and 3-person Shakespeare plays, something like that. And then once we're out of the woods with COVID, we'll be back to doing 1 play 6 different ways. We have a storytelling festival. We have a burlesque festival. We have Funny Immigrants, which is a stand-up festival with all immigrant comedians. We also have a residency program with right now 3 resident companies. Kevin R. Free is our resident artistic director. He advises and works with the resident companies to help them put together seasons. We do a lot of interesting things. It's a lot of fun. And in the last couple of years, we've done a lot of digital theater. Right as the pandemic started, we installed 3 cameras in our venue, and we've been streaming shows out of the venue to at-home audiences since that. So it's been a very interesting time the last 2 years. I'm really looking forward to seeing what we can do with an actual audience in the house and now all the streaming capacity that we've built up.
It's a very positive message. Thank you so very much for sharing with us, really.
Thank you guys.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Keep
Sounds exciting. Even I just saw The Portrait of an Angel, a Lion, a Monster, a play by Katrin Arafi, directed by Ali Kamran. And it stars Rachel Richman, is a woman who is recounting to us about a very long-term on-again, off-again relationship that she had with a Jewish man from originally from St. Petersburg, Russia. And after an absence of a while, he came back into her life and he had cancer, and she was helping him go through the chemotherapy. And then later he was gone again. And she herself was experiencing breast cancer, and I think he was back. I couldn't really follow the story all that clearly. It seemed like he was a religious Jew who would wear his kippah and the Mogen David and go to synagogue regularly, and got her to become interested in religion as well. But I found the storytelling kind of just very long-winded and not especially connected or involving. In fact, it was rather excruciating to sit through. So I admired the actress for being able to remember all of that in something that didn't really seem to lend itself to any kind of impassioned discourse, but we got through it. And unfortunately, I was hoping to like it a lot more. I'd have to give it an unhappy face and not recommend it to anybody.
I feel terrible because I went through hell to try to see this play. I mean, the subway broke down and I didn't know about it. I hopped in a taxi with two other people. We were all sharing this taxi, trying to get where we needed to go. I mean, I tried so hard to get there. And then when I got there, I tried so hard I wanted to leave because it gave me this horrible mask that I could not breathe in. And it took over my entire face. So my glasses had nowhere to go. And it was really hot in there. So I was just so miserable, just and uncomfortable sitting there. And, you know, I could see the audience falling asleep and a couple of them just left. And I have to admire the actress for her focus because she did not let the fact that people, we're basically in the same room right in front of her, well smushed together. They just got up and walked out in front of her and she just never lost her composure. So that was really good. But I because I was so uncomfortable, I was confused. I thought St. Petersburg was in Florida. She kept talking about childish and a baby. So I thought that the mother was her girlfriend and that they were raising this kid together. And it took me forever that she was kind of talking about her boyfriend's mother so much,
Yes.
and that her boyfriend reminded her of a child so much. And she kept making child references. And any chance she could, she would throw things on the ground. And I was waiting for her to throw the notebooks on the ground. And I was so excited when she did. I'm like, I called it. So I really feel terrible because I really wanted to like it because the press release was so interesting. And I thought it was going to be a Jewish story. Yes, she converted to Judaism, but it was more about them having cancer together and this, you know, at one point I thought the guy was dead, but he wasn't. They just, I don't know why they split up. I don't know why they were together. I mean, there was just no premise for any of this.
It did seem to be like the main focus of her life, even when they weren't together, and she was always writing about him. I must say that the woman who was sitting fairly close to us and sort of talked to us a little bit in the elevator said she thought it was quite beautiful. So even though it seemed to me like most of the audience was dying, some people did actually appreciate it. So it may split audience members, but I did find it very hard to sit through.
I want to see this Rachel again in a better show because I think she probably could do a wonderful job if she had the right material. So, but I'm sorry, I have to give it an unhappy face. And if you're going to go on the weekend, then give yourself 5 hours to get there.
In Dominique Morisseau's Skeleton Crew, directed by Ruben Santiago Hudson, it's Detroit, 2008, and an automobile factory seems to be on its way out. The workers don't know for sure when or if indeed it is closing. And we have Faye, who's been there 29 years and would like to be there 30, and she's played by Felicia Rashad. And we also have a hothead young guy, Des, who brings a gun to work, and a very, very pregnant young woman, Shanita, who is very proud of the work she does, and she's happy to be part of producing a great product. And I think that's really something that's important about the dignity and beauty of work at the factory that this play beautifully presents. There's a dancer who's not part of the work crew, but is an emblem of the beauty and the kind of mechanical actions that the workers produce. And we also have their foreman, Reggie, who seems to be a really good guy and would like to fight for getting them their rights, but might be limited in what he could do. And he and Faye are almost like family because she's very close. She was very close to his mother, who's now passed. And I think this is a really wonderful play about the dignity of work and the process of deindustrialization. I really liked it a lot. It got a very big happy face from me.
Yeah, I found it interesting to me that both Lynn Nottage's Sweat and Skeleton Crew were both produced off Broadway in 2016. Both dealt with the shutting down of a factory and how it impacted management and the workers. And with so many businesses shutting down because of the long haul of COVID, this is still a very timely play. And all the characters know their self-worth and they are fiercely independent, but will they discover that everyone needs help now and then during difficult times? Felicia Rashada's fate is dealing with grief, age, and the uncertainty of the only job she has ever known. Shantae Adams as Shanita has discovered her purpose in life with the factory, but what happens to her and her unborn child if that is gone? Will Des be of any use or is he just a distraction? And Joshua Boone's Des has a goal he is aiming toward, but is he going about it the right way? And poor Brandon J. Durden as Reggie is caught between a rock and a hard place. As manager, he has to keep these people in line and he has to answer to a higher boss, but he cares for these hard workers and wants them to get what they deserve. At the same time, he needs to keep his job and hope to get a place somewhere else with the company as he has a family and a new house to support. The only enemy here is hard economic times. How do you control the uncontrollable? Do you steal and try and get as much as you can get before you are let go? Do you try to find another job that you hate just to make ends meet and never have that sense of pride again? Or do you just give up? Skeleton Crew will haunt you long after it is over. And I'm giving it a happy face too. And I saw it before. It's really good. It's been a while, but I went to, well, I didn't go there. I mean, I went on the computer to see Rattlestick Theater's newest play. It's called Jonathan Payne's Interactive Addressless, created and directed by Martin Boras. It divides the audience into 3 teams to help Josie, Bianca Norwood, a runaway from Buffalo, an unemployed veteran, Louis, Joey Ozen, and an alcoholic father, Wallace, played by Shams DeBaron, who's actually an activist for homeless in real life, who has a son. We try to help them to make enough money to buy an apartment. A social worker also helps them with decision making. They all start out with $500 and 30 health points. They lose if they have no health points and can't raise $1,500 for renting an apartment. First, we have to decide where they should live. Streets, which uses up only $150 but takes away 4 health points. Shelter costs $300 and takes away 3 health points. And couch surfing costs $500 and is unpredictable. Then they need to find a job and keep it. There are 3 rounds in between the rounds. We get to choose from various symbols, like an intercom or canned soup, and under the symbol is revealed a small or large dollar amount to help them in their quest for that $1,500. I was on Team Louis, and the poor guy couldn't seem to catch a break. I got so caught up in his ups and downs that when something went right for him, I jumped up and down and screamed with happiness. I mean, I was like, my son was like, what the heck? And I'm like, I just gave him $900. You don't understand. He was about to never have any money. Everything was going wrong for him. Oh my God, poor Louis. I mean, my God, it's just a season after. That's how good this was. They were also relatable and not pariahs that homeless folks are sometimes portrayed as. And this really brought home about the homeless problem in America. And I'm giving this a happy face. So try to catch this before it closes February 13th. It's eye-opening. And now for that man about Theater Town, Jay Michaels with Indie Influencer.
This is Jay Michaels, and I'm your indie influencer here on High Drama. Remember that line from Jaws about needing a bigger boat? Well, I needed a bigger studio when it came to what's happening in the indie theater scene for 2022. East Harlem Repertory Theater, in association with Yolanda Brooks Productions, revives the critically acclaimed music and dance-filled play Mandela at the American Theater of Actors, opening February 8 and running throughout the month. Tickets on sale now. A Place for Us by Anthony Laura is an intimate family drama, part of the Chain Theater Winter One-Act Festival, opening February 8. Tickets on sale now. Anthony Laura's not finished. Sunday, February 26th at 1 p.m. will be a virtual performance introducing theater-going audiences to his new acting company with music and monologues, and tickets on sale now. UB Theatricals revives Mark Levy's award-winning one-man show, Blockbuster Guy. Written and performed by Levy and directed by Kristen Keim. This homage to the glory days of the video store is part of the Frigid Festival, opening February 16 at the Crane Theater, with tickets on sale now. Laugh out loud this month with the Improvisational Repertory Theater Ensemble when they celebrate Love American Style with Tammy's Bachelorette at the Producers Club. This send-up of the Bridezilla reality shows has tickets on sale now. And finally, join Ripple Effect artists Chocoholic Frolic on Valentine's Day. Sweets, wine, presentations, and prizes, with 100% of the proceeds going to fund steward awareness for mental health. And repeat after me, tickets on sale now. Whew. You know what's really scary? That's only February. This is Jay Michaels, and I'm your indie influencer here on High Drama.
Our next show will be February 26th. But in the meantime, go to our Facebook page because I have a lot of stuff that's going on in between then. The 7th Annual Women in Theater Festival with plays by Eliza Ben, Georgina Escobar, Amina Henry, Karen Briscoe, Erin Mallon is going on. You can see it on the computer. You know, it's streamed until March 18th. And February 16th, Fiasco Theater Company, this is all on the computer, is doing a Valentine for Sondheim, and that's free. And Social Alchemix is back, but they're live and in person at the Caveat on February 21st. But go to our Facebook page, go to YouTube and watch the show there. But see you next time.
Good night, everyone. Thank you for joining us.
Good night.
That's great. Thank you. Okay.